My health and fitness journey started from a mental standpoint, where I would say it really began when I came to a place where I actually will never forget it. I was driving in my car and I was listening to More Beautiful by Johnny Diaz. And he talks about how there will never be a more beautiful you. And if you listen to the song, he sings about a 14-year-old little girl that's looking at these magazines, and she never feels like she's going to be as beautiful as the women in these magazines. Her hair's not straight. She's not as thin. She's nitpicking herself from a standpoint of looking at these commercial women in these magazines. And then he starts singing about a woman at 20 years old and her not valuing herself in this relationship that she's in. And she doesn't think she's beautiful, or she doesn't feel like she can live up to this man's standard of what beautiful is. And so I just remember driving the car and listening to that song. And I would say honestly that that's probably where my true fitness journey started, because at that point in time, I felt like God was saying, this is where you've been and this is where you're meant to be. And I saw that starting point, and I saw where I needed to be, and that there was going to be a journey in between those 2 points. And that was when I made up my mind of, okay, I am worth something, and I'm worth more than what I've been doing to myself and how I've been treating myself, and how, like that little 14-year-old girl, how I was focusing more on the vanity of health and fitness and on just wanting to look good and basically doing whatever it took to look good, rather than treating my body the way God saw me and eating the way He wanted me to eat because of what He put on this earth, rather than me basically doing whatever it was going to take to, look good for everybody else or for that boyfriend or wherever else. So that was where my fitness journey and health journey started, from just a holistic mental standpoint. And it's also where I finally realized that my identity was not found in how I look. Really, my health journey was more about who I was becoming for Christ and for who He made me to be, rather than me looking at a magazine and saying, I want to look like her. Knowing that my identity is in Christ, so at the end of the day, that's the most important aspect of who I am as a person, as an individual, as a woman, as a mom, as a wife, as a single woman, whoever you may be. So my motivation came more from me learning from a holistic standpoint of how I could improve myself to be the best woman that God is calling me to be, rather than it for vanity, rather than it for me looking in the mirror and approving of who I see back. From a physical standpoint, it was more of me really wanting to thrive, wanting to feel well, wanting to have all of those things which come with living a healthy lifestyle. And you can be motivated by wanting to feel great. I think that's important that you want to feel well, but why do you want to feel amazing? Do you want to feel amazing so you can walk around with a really big head and a strong ego, which is not good? You want to walk around and feel amazing knowing that it's helping you be a better employee or a better entrepreneur or a better mom or a better wife to your husband, because it's giving you more energy and it's giving you the ability to be a good example to the people that are around you, whether it be your husband or your children that are watching you. So I think it's as far as finding a motivator, it's what are you focusing on that your health and fitness is gonna give you threefold, rather than it all just being strictly from vanity and like what you see on the outside. we touched on this a little bit, but finding health like from the inside out. At the end of the day, knowing that we want to be the most Christ-like as we can, and that's internal, and then figuring out internally what makes us the healthiest and what adds to that, because that means that you're focusing on your spiritual health. There's so many different realms of health. And so health and fitness is a part of who you are, and it adds to you being the best Christ-like woman that you can be. But being able to focus on your spiritual health and your mental health and your emotional health and your physical health. And why are you focusing on all of those things? Because if you're focusing on your emotional health, you're not focusing on if you have a six-pack. You know what I mean? And if you're focusing on Christ in your health journey, you're not focusing on if your waist is small enough and if you have a big butt. You know what I mean? So I would say finding a motivator, or finding the motivation of what's going to make you more whole, rather than something that's fleeting that could pass, like your looks. Because at the end of the day, we're all going to age. And yeah, you can continue to improve your body, but at some point you're going to change, you're going to evolve your body. God, that's why he created us. He created us to evolve as human beings in him and as moms, and everything is going to unfold and things are going to start to look different. And it's using your health and fitness and your identity and who you are in Christ, and knowing that you're enough right then and there, and how health and fitness is just adding to every other aspect of your life. First of all, I think comparison is the thief of joy. And I think that social media is so big these days, and billions of people are on social media, and we have a lot of people on social media that are constantly, they're putting out their highlight reel. They really are. They're putting out the best of the best. They're showing all of these pictures that include editing, lighting. A lot of them have gotten really good at posing. And you'll see pictures of women. Actually, I love following women that are just raw and real, and will show you a side-by-side of my Instagram reality and then my at-home reality. And they'll show you, like, I don't stand like this all the time. This is literally my best side. It's showing all of my best self, right? And I think that when we sit in our PJs on our couch and we're scrolling through Instagram and we're seeing all of those different images of, it's just a collaboration of somebody's life that they're putting out their best, you're not seeing the realness of the rest of their life, that you have no idea what really is going on in their life, right? And so the dangers of comparing yourself to that is that you don't know their full story. You're just seeing an image, an edited, most likely edited, their best self picture of what they want to portray to everybody else out there on the internet. You're probably not seeing the rest of their dirty house that's behind the camera, or you're not seeing that they just got into a big fight with their child over going and putting on their pajamas and brushing their teeth. And when you compare yourself to something that you don't even know the full story, it's hard to accept your own reality because you feel imperfect and you feel like they are perfect. And it's just not true. Every single person has flaws. Every single person lives a real, raw life behind the scenes. And it's just, are you seeing that or not? Most of the time you probably aren't. I think when you can sit back and be confident in what your gifts are and in what goodness you do have in your life and what blessings you do have, instead of focusing on what you don't have and who you aren't, because you're idolizing those people and those pictures and their lives, when in all reality you don't even really know their full life. It helps you a lot with just being content with the woman that you are and the life that you've been given. Because in my opinion, when I sit back and find myself getting worked up over my troubles, what's troubling me or why I'm so stressed, and it happens. We're human, right? We all get to those points where we get flustered or have anxiety, and where we just have to kind of pick it all up, lay it all down in front of, like at the foot of the cross, and say, okay, I am blessed, and here's why. I think when I know if I'm idolizing somebody or if I'm looking at something in an unhealthy manner, I have to go with inside myself and see, first of all, if it's coming from a good place, or if it is coming from an insecurity of mine of, okay, why am I, like, stop and look at why you're looking up to that person, right? Are you looking up to that person for X, Y, and Z qualities, or A, B, and C qualities? And what are those qualities? Because the proper qualities to be getting inspiration from are somebody that's it's going to bring you joy. It's going to probably give you some source of education or just goodness that's going to enrich your life. And it's not going to cause you to question your own self-worth. You find yourself constantly questioning your own life and your own self-worth, it's probably not the type of inspiration you need. Appreciate another woman's beauty without questioning your own. And if you can find inspiration on social media that you can appreciate the woman that you're following, but they lift you up and make you feel even better about the woman that you are and that you're becoming, that's inspiration. If it's causing you negative self-talk, or you wishing and idolizing that you were something else other than you are, you probably want to